Alright, guys, welcome back. You already know what time it is, the open shot. Today, we're going to be talking about our standout picks. You already know. We're going to be talking about injuries around the league and how they could affect some teams. And yeah, let's get into this.
Did you guys know that Hulu has live sports?
Happy Wednesday, my dudes. Welcome back to the open shot. What up, dude? How's it been?
Chilling.
Chilling. So, what's the news in the league?
So, a lot of news in the league, especially with injuries. So we're gonna get to that, during the news. But first up, the Bucks. The Milwaukee Bucks. Chris Middleton is out for 3 to 4 weeks with a thigh contusion.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, it's gonna suck for the Bucks losing their, basically their second option on the bench on the court. And, having that chemistry with Giannis, that's going to really, take a toll on the team. Hopefully they can still, keep battling it out and being as dominant as they are. But, hopefully Chris Middleton will do a speedy recovery. Next up, the Chicago Bulls. Chris Felicio, he's out for 4 to 8 weeks with a broken wrist. So that's another injury around the league, and there's a lot more. And unfortunately, the guy that we were so happy for last week,
Don't say it, man.
doing great, the Boston Celtics. Gordon Hayward fractured his hand. He's out for 6 weeks.
This ain't right, bro. Free my boy Hayward, man. He doesn't deserve to be injured. It's not cool.
It's crazy. So he was having a comeback season. He was proving his worth and fractured his hand.
Luckily, this isn't like a freaking leg tear or anything like that.
Like for example, Stephen Curry fractured his hand and he's out for the rest. He's out for three plus months.
He's fine. He'll be fine. And how long is he out for? A couple of weeks?
Yeah, 6 weeks.
He's straight,
approximately.
Bro. He'll come back.
So next up, the Los Angeles Clippers. So Paul George is returning on Thursday. So we record on Wednesday night, but tonight for you guys, Paul George is returning against the New Orleans Pelicans, and unfortunately, Shamet is out with a grade 2 high ankle sprain. His return is to be determined. The Los Angeles Clippers, man.
I mean, it's unfortunate because I really do like Shamet. He has a good clean shot. He's a shooter, but I just feel like the Clippers team, they're built to handle whatever comes to them, and they have a lot of depth, bro. They have Beverly. They got Montrezl Harrell, which is a monster. He's probably one of my favorite players on that team. He's grit and grind, and I feel like Shamet is a piece, but it's not detrimental. At least I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean he's been having a great year this year. He's been really producing for his role. He can be better, but luckily the Clippers have Rodney McGruder as the backup, so he's most likely going to be starting unless they put in Lou Will, unless they don't want to have Lou Will coming off the bench.
I miss the boy, bro. McGruder.
So Clippers lose Shamet. Paul George returning. Now, the next team, the Miami Heat, man. Let's talk about a piece of news.
I was waiting for this one.
Dion Waiters suspended for 10 games. So first, I'm going to lay out the story.
Lay it out, bro.
So last week,
whip it out on them.
Last week, I got a notification and I see a pretty serious notification. It says Miami Heat players plane or Miami Heat plane lands because of a medical emergency of one of the players. And part of the tweet, I don't remember who was the person that tweeted it, but part of the tweet said, no further information is available due to medical laws. So that means it was something really serious that had happened. So I was freaking out. I didn't know what was happening. I didn't know if it was one of the players, the coaches. I don't know. A couple days later, we find out that a player had a seizure. And then we found out that it was Dion Waiters. So they said that Dion Waiters had a seizure. So that's version 2 of the story. So I think like 1 or 2 days later, Dion Waiters had a seizure on the plane. The next day, I get a notification. Dion Waiters had a panic attack when he was woken up on the airplane because he ate too many edibles. Now I'm here, and I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm here thinking, Dion, okay, maybe he took like a lot of melatonin gummies or CBD gummies, or something. You know, maybe like it was just a bad reaction with something. I have no idea what it is, but or maybe he has a underlying issue or something. Then it just came out, THC infused edible.
Boy got hot.
This dude just took an edible on the plane.
Dude, what a guy. Honestly, salute to him.
And not only did he take not only is he a professional, not only is he a professional basketball player or a professional athlete, he took an edible on the team plane, and he was already suspended for the first game and before the season even started for quote unquote conduct detrimental to the team. Well, guess what the next 10 game suspensions is for? Conduct detrimental to the team. I mean, just the you know how big your balls have to be for you to do that, and no, he's not even playing really.
You know what I admire the most though? Apparently there was a report saying that he wasn't snitching out who gave it to him,
which is cool. I respect that.
No, but honestly, bro, like
I wonder who else on the team has been popping eddies, bro.
How do you think Derrick Jones freaking gets high like that, man?
Dude, so that's insane. Yeah, man, that was. I mean, one thing that I think is pretty funny is I'm glad that he's okay. But I think it's funny how he had a panic attack, and the first reports were that he had a seizure. Like, what was he doing? Was he flailing his arms around? Was he screaming? Like, what was happening that they thought it was a seizure and not a panic attack?
It could have been a Twitter. It could have been like a Twitter nurse, you know. you never know, bro. People talk shit nowadays.
So that's a crazy thing to come out from the Miami Heat. Dion Waiters suspended 10 games for eating a THC infused edible. He's not. Apparently, it's speculation that a team member gave it to him. He's not saying, so that's kind of like the overview of that. But next up, the Sacramento Kings. De'Aaron Fox sprained ankle. He's gonna be out for 3 to 4 weeks.
That sucks.
Yeah, so he's,
But it's okay. It's okay. I believe in this team. They got the go in Harrison Barnes, and I feel like they could go really far.
I hate you. I mean, the Sacramento Kings. That's gonna be a big loss for them. He's the starting point guard, and he's arguably the best player on the team other than Buddy Hield. So it's going to be,
Which isn't really saying much.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they both can ball out, though.
They can.
It's just that in the Kings, like in Sacramento, you're not doing much. Yeah. So he's out for 3 to 4 weeks. Now, there's a lot of weird stuff happening with the Knicks organization. So Steve Mills, which is the president of the Knicks, said that the Knicks are preparing to fire Dave Fizdale for a slow start of the season. Now, apparently, another report came out saying, but if the Knicks don't improve this season, Mills and other higher management jobs in the Knicks organization are in jeopardy.
Which, I mean, it's kind of overdue.
In terms of the management, yeah, but Dave Fizdale?
No, I'm not saying Dave Fizdale. I'm saying like the freaking management, the higher ups, they're trash, man.
I mean,
what have they done?
What about Phil? Like, is Phil Jackson even still there? I don't even know.
No, Phil Jackson's long gone.
Bro, like, it's insane how. I don't know. I find it very disrespectful, especially because like Dave Fizdale came from us.
No, yeah, no, he has that Heat culture. He has a Heat culture.
Yeah,
also.
And that like everybody knew that they were gonna have a slow start to the season. So why are you gonna fire the coach for a slow start to the season when it's in reality it's your fault for for signing fucking 6 power forwards? You know what I mean? Like, it's your fault.
Honestly, dude, the Knicks, like, it just baffles me how the Knicks are still, like, the highest paid team because their tickets are so expensive. And for them to have an iconic arena like the Madison Square Garden and for them to have a really shit organization says a lot.
Yeah.
It sucks. I would fucking be depressed if I was a Knicks fan.
Yeah, especially being in, like, the Big Apple, like, pretty much the biggest media team in the NBA.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like, dude, I honestly, personally, I would love to, even though like the Knicks are like our rivals and stuff, but I would personally love to see the Knicks exciting again. I don't think we've seen that since like the Carmelo, J.R. Smith days.
True, yeah.
Which is a long time.
Yeah, I mean that's what 2012,
yeah,
2013.
And I believe one of those years they won like 50 games, which was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, then again, Lee was a different place, bro.
We had that LeBron, bro.
But I mean, for the Knicks, it's ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like, they knew they were gonna start off bad, so why are you gonna be doing important, crucial top position movements when you know that it's not really the coaching's fault or the management's fault? Well, it is the management's fault. It's more the GM's fault. It's the way the team is built, not the method or the strategy that they're going about the games.
Yeah. Bro.
So, Next up, the Orlando Magic. I got a notification today. It was really interesting that said that they're interested in trading for DeMar DeRozan.
That's interesting.
They're in the trade market to getting DeMar DeRozan. They're apparently kind of working out to see what would work. I didn't see anything about the Spurs being interested in letting go of DeMar DeRozan or even being engaged in those talks. But I found it interesting how the Orlando Magic wants to trade for such a big name. I mean, it makes you think like what are they willing to give up to get DeMar DeRozan? Can we see Nikola Vucevic or Aaron Gordon on the Spurs?
Oh man!
Or is it going to be a 3-team trade? Is kind of the landscape going to change again?
I don't think the Magic are stupid enough to trade Nikola, bro.
I mean,
but honestly, though, imagining him in Pop's system, that's kind of scary.
I want to see Aaron Gordon in Pop's system.
Yeah.
I mean, having that fundamental mastermind in Greg Popovich, but that young athletic 4 in Aaron Gordon. Yeah. I feel like him and LaMarcus Aldridge can really be like a good. Well, Aaron Gordon and or Nikola Vucevic with LaMarcus Aldridge will be like a Twin Towers concept. You know what I mean? Like just having 2 big men at the 5 and the 4. And I think that LaMarcus Aldridge, if let's say they do decide to trade Aaron Gordon for DeMar DeRozan, I think LaMarcus Aldridge has a lot to teach Aaron Gordon. He could definitely amp up his game to the next level, being a low post scorer and a mid range deadeye.
For sure. I agree.
So that's going to be an interesting, story to kind of follow. Next up, the Brooklyn Nets. So the Nets fired their CEO David Levy after only 2 months. I have no idea why that happened. And another piece of news, the Brooklyn Nets signed Iman Shumpert. Now, why did they sign Iman Shumpert? Well, apparently LeVert has some issues with his thumb. He has some severe ligament issues in his thumb. He's going to miss several weeks. So the Brooklyn Nets are apparently they signed on Iman Shumpert to kind of lessen that load, to lessen the blow from losing LeVert from injury. But I mean the Nets, man, LeVert was averaging 16.8 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists on 31 minutes. He was basically the band-aid for the small forward position for KD being gone. I mean, he will be. I feel like next year when KD comes back, LeVert will have a chance to be a really solid backup for KD. But I felt like the Nets were really depending on him to being that band-aid, holding that position down until next year, until Kevin Durant came back, and now they lost him. So now they don't have their number 1 or number 2 position as small forward, and they decided to bring on Iman Shumpert.
I mean, Iman Shumpert, I think that's a pretty good signing. I mean, he's not.
Yeah, I mean he's aging, but I think it's still like a great veteran.
I still that's good. That's great veteran presence. I think he fits. If he fits full with that team, and you have that veteran leadership now. So I mean, not that he's a leader, but you have a veteran.
Yeah, and I mean he has playoff experience, championship experience. With the Brooklyn Nets, let's see how it plays out. The fact that they signed him so quickly after the injury means that they're looking for him to lessen the blow. They want him to deliver quick, and quite frankly, the Brooklyn Nets just lack like talented forwards. So signing up and picking up Iman Shumpert is a good thing for them. Hopefully, the Nets, like with Taurean Prince, Garrett Temple, and Joe Harris, they can also pick up the slack, because I mean the Nets are doing good this year. They're 4-6, so they are under 500. But I think that's just coming from when you build a super team. People need to mesh together, and they're kind of, I don't want to say fortunate that KD's not playing, but it's good that since Kevin Durant isn't playing this year, Kyrie Irving and DeAndre Jordan, even though DeAndre Jordan's not like a superstar anymore, or people don't consider him that, they get to still transition slowly within the system. But now losing someone that was there last year, knows the system, and was a crucial part of the offense. I mean, the fact that he played 31 minutes a game means that he was a reliable part of the offense, and they depended on him.
Yeah.
So hopefully they can kind of get over this bump. But even then, this year, the Nets are 3rd in points scored, 7th in field goal percentage, 5th in 3-point percentage, and 3rd in rebounds. So I have nothing to worry about for the Nets. You know what I mean? Like, just hopefully they could get past this injury. But if anything, next year, I mean, if they could do these numbers without Kevin Durant, imagine what they could do with Kevin Durant.
Yeah, but I get you, because realistically, we don't really see them going far into the playoffs, regardless. So like,
this year,
not this year, but like any accomplishments that they make, it's This is pretty much like a preview season in a sense.
Yeah.
So I mean, even if they were to hold these numbers, I don't think it would really matter.
Yeah.
Realistically, they're waiting for next year.
So I mean,
they have nothing to lose. They have nothing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like if they're doing this
without
KD, it's a good sign.
Yeah.
So just imagine when KD does play and they're playing, his type of ball.
For sure.
Next up, the Indiana Pacers. So Victor Oladipo seems to be getting a lot better. He was assigned to the G League after rupturing a quad tendon in January, so he's closer to returning. Nothing but respect for Victor Oladipo. I love him as a player, so I can't wait to see him ball on the court again.
Yeah, for sure.
For the Detroit Pistons, Blake Griffin finally came back. He made his season debut. He returned on Monday versus the Timberwolves, and he scored 16 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists in 23 minutes. Unfortunately, they lost, but Blake Griffin is back, and I really want to see, that Blake Griffin and Andre Drummond combo this year. I know they played together before, but with Andre Drummond just blowing it up rebound-wise and putting up historic numbers, I can't wait to see them together on the court.
And I think that's going to be really special to see because I feel like DeAndre Jordan's going to be like more of that, getting the boards and being more defensive, while Blake is the one that kills you inside,
Yeah.
So that's going to be really deadly to see.
And I mean, if for sure, if there's any duo that can bring back bully basketball, low post basketball, it's them for sure. Blake Griffin has that 3-point shot and he's getting really good at it, and he's great from mid-range, but I feel like he still has that athleticism and that explosiveness to attack the basket strategically. Obviously, he's not going to do it all the time now like he did when he was younger, but especially after, these injuries that he's had. But I think that if Andre Drummond can get just a little bit better offensively, even though I think just technically wise, offensively, if he can get better technically in his skill, and Blake Griffin kind of just turns on the motors again, turns back the clock, I think a lot of teams are going to have trouble with them in the paint because teams are really transitioning to having stretch 4 teams, 3 more 3-point shooting teams, and less big men. And if they're going to take advantage of that, that's going to be insane.
That is going to be insane. And they have a good, playmaker in Derrick Rose to set them up.
Yeah.
Which is great. And they have, a good supporting cast too.
Yeah, and then just imagine when Reggie Jackson comes back. I don't know if he's going to come off the bench or if Derrick Rose is still going to be starting or what, but I mean, that's a lot of good talent on the team.
Yeah. Really, really really underdog talent, but good nonetheless.
Yeah. Next up, the Toronto Raptors. Kyle Lowry fractured his thumb Friday against the Pelicans. He's going to be out for 2 weeks. So the Toronto Raptors lose their starting point guard and pretty much their team captain. So that sucks. The Houston Rockets. Eric Gordon's going to miss 3 weeks with a knee injury. So that's a big loss to the Houston Rockets.
Yeah.
Eric Gordon is arguably the 3rd best scorer on the team, I think. And, yeah, that's going to be a really big blow to their offense and playmaking also. And another piece of news I saw, the Golden State Warriors. So I saw some speculation saying that Stephen Curry might not return this year, don't hold your breath. But then Stephen Curry came out and said himself he's expecting to come back this season.
Which is stupid, but...
Yeah, should he? I don't think so.
I don't think he should. I think he should just rest, take the season off and just tank, bro. It's like, what are you going to accomplish, dude? Play's not going to come back, and if he does, he's not going to be... if they're smart, like I said last episode, if these guys are smart, they'll play their cards right. Why rush him back for what? It's if you guys were a contending team and you had the pieces, and sure, but you guys don't. I think they're really underpowered in the West right now, and I think they should use this season to just kind of let these young guys play, get experience, and get their stock up so they can make some moves. That's what they need to do.
Yeah, man, and I feel like, because going back to what we said last week, the Warriors should, I think, just tank. You know what I mean? Get a high draft pick. Get your scouts out there.
That's how they work.
Yeah, and I think also just to keep it safe for Stephen Curry. Why are you gonna rush him back so soon? Why are you gonna have him come into a year or to a season where it's really not that relevant for him to play? Because just imagine, the first timetable said 3+ months. Let's say best case scenario, he comes back in 3 months. That's what? If we're in halfway through November, that's halfway through February or March. The playoffs start soon. They're not gonna go to the playoffs. So you're gonna have him play a couple of weeks for nothing,
Exactly.
and that's just for him to play. That's really just for him to prove that he still has it. But we know you still have. You're Stephen Curry, your former MVP, you're the best 3-point shooter ever. Don't rush your comeback. Let the young players play. Let the Warriors organization have these young players have a bigger role, and then they can determine which ones to keep for the next year when you guys do come back. When Draymond Green is 100% healthy, when Klay Thompson is 100% healthy, when Curry is 100% healthy. And, I think it's just... I feel like if Stephen Curry comes back, then that's just going to... I don't think it's really going to affect their draft position. If it does, it's going to affect it one spot. But I don't know. I just feel like it's really unnecessary for him to come back this year, especially if they're planning on getting a high draft pick.
Yeah, like how I see it, if he's going to be out, I don't see them making the playoffs considering they don't really have anything to compete right now. And I just, how like I said, how I see it is, you're going to rush him back to underachieve this season.
Yeah.
Why? Like, why are you going to do that? It makes no sense to me. And then what if he gets injured again? Then how stupid are you going to feel?
Yeah, exactly.
You already lost KD to doing that.
And DeMarcus Cousins too, because he got injured. He
Yeah,
just didn't resign.
They just rushed. Don't rush anyone back. Just take your time and that's it. Ride this wave out.
Yeah, man. So next up, a team I want to talk about because we're talking about like injuries, big injuries, is the Wizards, and I feel like the Wizards, they've been really hit with. I mean, I know that we said that the Wizards weren't gonna have that good of a team anyway. Mm-hmm. But just the fact of not having John Wall with a torn ACL and Ian Mahinmi with a strained Achilles tendon, I think Isaiah Thomas and Thomas Bryant are doing really good in filling in those roles. I just wanted to shout them out because Isaiah Thomas is playing good. He's averaging 13.2 points, 6.2 assists on 43% shooting, and he's filling in that role of John Wall being out. I mean, we know that Isaiah Thomas is no John Wall, but those are big shoes to fill, and he's doing a good job. He's doing his role. He's playing his ball.
Yeah, and you heard that like I saw a report that Isaiah Thomas says that he has his joy back for basketball.
Yeah,
which is great.
And you could tell by his stats. I mean, he's playing really great. Also, Thomas Bryant, just the fact that Mahinmi is out, he had an opportunity to step it up, and he's averaging this year 14.8 points, 9.6 rebounds, and 1.5 blocks. He's already playing way better than Ian Mahinmi did for the Wizards. So they're playing great, and Beal. Even though the Wizards are 2-6 this year, Beal is averaging almost identical numbers from last year, and I feel like it would be really hard for him to boost it up even more of a notch with the team he has, even though I feel like he can still do more scoring wise. But losing John Wall is a big loss for them. So I just wanted to shout out the Wizards, because I mean I feel like if next year when John Wall does come back and they're able to keep like this team in general, like I think if Isaiah Thomas, Bradley Beal, John Wall, Thomas Bryant, and Ian Mahinmi, they kind of stay together, that's a pretty decent, kind of team. Obviously not saying like playoff worthy, but that's a good kind of thing to work off of.
It's like, like a fresh start.
Yeah.
And they could just work from there.
Yeah. So, the standouts.
Standouts, bro. Wow, that was a pretty long news segment. Holy shit. But yeah, standouts.
I mean, a lot of injuries are around the league. A lot of news too. So
my standouts of the week. So I'm taking my first standout to Utah and Donovan Mitchell, bro.
Oof.
Bro, I'm.
How's he been doing?
Dude, first and foremost, the Jazz are 8-3 right now.
Stupid.
They're 8-3 in the West. I didn't, to be honest with you, I didn't really expect that like whatsoever. I felt like they were gonna be good, but not 8-3.
Yeah.
But he's averaging 25.1 points a game on 48.4 field goal percentage, and 5.2 rebounds, 4.1 assists, and 40.80% from three, which is pretty good.
Yeah, 40. Anything over like 38 is great.
Yeah, so I mean, he's balling out. The Jazz are looking to be one of the. I feel like they've
won the last four.
I feel like they're the Nuggets of this year, to be honest, because I feel like the Nuggets aren't as.
Yeah, I feel like the Nuggets are more hype now. Like they're more mainstream now, whereas the Jazz. I feel like the Nuggets and Jazz were together for a while in terms of like young talent and potential. But then the Nuggets kind of had that little boost, and now last year, and now the Jazz are getting that boost this year.
Exactly, and I don't know, like when they made all those like silent moves in the off season, I really did see them forming a really scary deep team, and I don't know, to be 8-3, I didn't expect that. I did expect them to be in the playoffs, obviously, but they're off to a hot start, dude.
Bro, yeah, and I mean, they've won the last 4 games, and these are the last 4 teams they played: the 76ers, the Bucks, the Warriors, whatever, because the Warriors are ass, and the Nets. So I mean, they beat 3 top teams in the NBA.
Yeah,
Basically the 3 top teams in the Eastern Conference. So, and they didn't destroy them. They beat the 76ers by 2, the Bucks by 3, the Warriors they beat obviously by 14, and then they beat the Nets by 5. So they're not big margins, but they're proving that they can play with the big dogs, at least in the big dogs in the Eastern Conference.
and also the thing that I want to point out is like they don't really have star power. Like they don't have like they're just. I mean, I would consider Donovan Mitchell a rising star, but if you really look at that entire team,
Yeah, not like established.
like not like a Russell Westbrook or like a James Harden or like a LeBron James. No, they just know how to play basketball together, and I feel like that's what makes them really scary.
Yeah, and they have such a deep team. I mean, just looking at their roster, their starting and backup for every position is extremely talented. Mike Conley and Emmanuel Mudiay, Donovan Mitchell and Joe Ingles. Well, the small forward position, they don't have that many. They don't have anyone. Power forward position, Bojan Bogdanovic and Jeff Green. And Jeff Green can play the 3 easily. And then at center, Rudy Gobert and Ed Davis. I mean, they have some really good talent and a lot of depth. And Donovan Mitchell is just killing it. I mean, he's super athletic, and I think this is the year that he's going to really explode into. He's always been popular in the league. I feel like he's going to have the same kind of journey that James Harden had, where James Harden was extremely popular when he was young. When he was a rookie, you know, he was a big face in the NBA, but then he started to really ball out and then really be in the MVP conversation. I feel like right now Donovan Mitchell's just playing basketball. He's doing great. He's a superstar, but if like maybe next year and 2 years from now, 3 years from now, he's gonna make that pop and become an MVP candidate.
No, for sure, and he's still really young. Like he still has time to grow.
Exactly.
And like this is
his third year with Utah,
which is insane.
Yeah,
It's crazy. And my next standout is James Harden.
Oof.
He's balling out, bro.
The beard.
Like he's balling out, and right now their record, if I'm not mistaken, currently is at 7-3, which is again
to be honest, it's a lot better than I thought they were gonna start.
Yeah, me too. I honestly thought they were gonna struggle a bit, but to be 7-3, and I don't know. I mean, I'm not shocked because I feel like Houston's always that team that always starts off slow and they always like just beast out, but they're having a pretty quick start, especially with them adding Westbrook and just the chemistry shift and all that. I thought they were gonna struggle, but I'm pretty surprised, and that's why I think they stood out to me. But James Harden in particular, because right now currently he is averaging 37 from almost 40.
Ridiculous, man. I mean, he's. I don't know. I'm gonna check right now. He must be leading the league in scoring.
No, I think so for sure. If not, then he's very close. But also, he's shooting 40.7% from field goal. His 3-point percentage is pretty lackluster, 29.8. I mean,
he could do better than that. He is leading points per game, by the way.
Yeah. And I mean, no surprise, 88.1% from free throw because that's what he does.
Now that's one thing I don't like about James Harden. I feel like he's dropping 37 points a game,
but most of them are free throws.
But literally 20 of them are free throws. 20, 25 of them are free throws, and that's what I don't like that much. I mean, he is like if he was a bad shooter, then I would hate it more. But he proves that the shots he makes, he makes. You know what I mean?
Oh.
It's just that I don't like how that's a big part of his strategy, just to drive in and to get fouled. I understand that it's kind of a strategy. For example, like Dwayne Wade used it all the time. His like signature pump fake.
Yeah.
But that's so much different than.
Yeah, but he wouldn't abuse it.
He doesn't abuse it. Like Dwayne Wade only used that when he was stuck in a spot and he said, "Okay, I'm gonna try this, or I'm gonna do this for a play."
Mm-hmm.
James Harden just goes in, drives it in, sticks his hands out, and just hopes he gets fouled.
Yeah.
And he relies on that.
No, and I noticed a lot in the playoffs last season, again, especially like against the Warriors, when he should have been playing smart, he was just going for fouls and more fouls, and I don't know. I feel like that takes away from the game. Like it takes away from just what you're watching. I mean, he's still a great player. I'm not gonna take credit away from him. Obviously, it's James Harden at the end of the day, but I don't know. I just kind of wish he would, like you said, he wouldn't rely on it so much because it does take away a bit of credibility from him.
Yeah, and I mean, I also thought he was gonna have a hard time producing other stats with having Westbrook there on the team, but he's averaging 5.4 rebounds, 8.3 assists. He's averaging so far right now almost one assist more than last year.
Mm.
So I mean, he's obviously getting the ball. He's playing crazy minutes, 35 minutes a game, but he's also turning over the ball 5.8 times a game. That's insane. So hopefully he can get that number down. I mean, he always averages a lot of turnovers, but hey, I mean, the Rockets, something's working out for them. You know, they're playing hard, they're winning, they're 7-3. So
yeah. So my last standout is not really like a superstar player, but it's just good to see this particular player be in the setting that he's in and being someone that we never thought he could be. And that player is Dwight Howard. I feel like obviously he's not the Dwight Howard of old, but what I do appreciate and why he did stand out to me is because he's doing what he's supposed to do. He's getting, rebounds off the bench. He's playing defensively. He knows he's not the main person. I feel like that's something that's held him back his entire career because he just had this huge ego. And to go back to LA, to a place where he just pretty much gave up on that team, and to go back and to redeem himself in that sense, I feel like that's really mature of him. And just, I don't know, I feel like that stands out to me, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, he's having a good year. I feel like now he's, like you said, he's finally actually matured, and he's agreeing to just taking on whatever role he needs to take on. He wants to be a role player. He wants to do whatever's best for the team. I mean, he's getting 7.6 boards a game and 1.6 blocks, while also averaging, only 7 points, but he's doing what he needs to do. And I mean, the Lakers are benefiting from it. I mean, the Lakers are having a great year this year also. They're proving that they can play together very well, and Dwight Howard's really filling in a big spot, while DeMarcus Cousins is out.
For sure.
So, my standouts for the week. My first one, obvious pick, the Eastern Conference Player of the Year, not the year, of the week.
Oh my God, I mean,
Eastern Conference Player of the Week, Pascal Siakam. In the last week alone, and so basically since November 6th, he's averaged 26.8 points, 11 rebounds, 4.8 assists on 48.4 field goal percentage. The Raptors are 3-1 in the last week, including a 9-point victory over the Lakers, but also a 10-point loss to the Clippers. Now, I think it kind of cancels out. If you could beat the Lakers by 9 and lose to the Clippers by 10, it cancels out. But I mean, Pascal Siakam is lighting it up. He's proving that he learns from Kawhi Leonard. He's proving that he has what it takes. He wants to improve again, and I'm sticking with what I said in our first episode, where I said that he's going to be a good candidate for Most Improved Player of the Year again. I think he's really going to do that. If he stays averaging 26 points a game, up from his, I believe it was 17 points from last year, that's insane. I mean, he went up 10 points per game per year. You know what I mean? And he's really blowing it up. So he's one of my standout players for this week. My next one, someone that I've mentioned before as a standout player, but I'm bringing him back, Trae Young, man.
Of course.
Trae Young again. In the last week, he's averaging 29 points, 4.3 rebounds, 9 assists on 43% field goal percentage, and 20% 3-point. So he could do a little bit better on 3-pointer, but just wait a second.
It's the second year, so I got to give him some slack.
But on Tuesday, so yesterday for us, 2 days ago for you guys, on Tuesday night against the Nuggets, he had a huge game with a season high 42 points, 11 assists on 62% field goal and 3-point percentage. And he did this crazy play where he nutmegged Will Barton, drained a shot, turned around, and stared right at the Nuggets bench. This kid, I mean, I hope he can really bring the Hawks up. He's definitely the future for them. Unfortunately, they're 1-3 in the last week, and they lost to Chicago and Sacramento.
Yeah.
So out of those 3 losses, 2 of them were to a really shitty team, two really shitty teams, or 2 very low caliber teams. But I mean, Trae Young as an individual, as a player, he has a really bright future in the NBA, man. I mean, even coming off of injury, you know, he injured his ankle against us. It's just insane how he's still producing like this, and it's such a bad team too. You know what I mean? And he's still able to get these shots off and to shoot at such a high level, and it's exciting to see.
No, for sure. I just really hope the Hawks do something and give them help. I just don't want him to go through the Anthony Davis / Devin Booker treatment, where he's a really great talent, but he's just stuck in a really crappy organization. I really hope.
Exactly.
But I will say this.
It is also his second year. He has time.
It's his second year. But I do think that if the Hawks are smart, which I think they should be, I mean, they've done well in the past. They have had great seasons, like that one year where they were the first seed and no one saw that coming, and they were like 60 and something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like they know, they know how to work a system, but again, like it's only a second season. But if he does get help and they do put pieces around them, that could be a deadly team.
And remember, I mean, the Hawks also have Evan Turner out and Allen Crabbe, so they're both injured, and those are 2 guys that he can definitely pass the ball to and help him offensively.
Yeah.
But, I mean, even without them, he's producing, man. He's an amazing player. My next one, the Boston Celtics, dude.
Dude, yes.
In the last week,
yes.
They're 8-1 this season, 3-0 in the last week. They're 3rd in block shots in the entire league. And Jaylen Brown has picked up the slack with Hayward out. 22.3 points, 7.6 rebounds, 56% shooting, and 20% from 3 this season, but 42% in the last 3 games. So there was a time that he didn't play for about 2 to 4 games straight. I don't know the exact number, but in the last 3 games that he's played, which is from that injury, he's averaged 42% in the last 3 games from 3-pointer. He's blowing it up, man. I mean, just averaging 22 and 7. He's doing great. The Celtics are doing great. This is kind of like more Jaylen Brown / Celtics, but I'm really glad he's able to produce. And now with Gordon Hayward out for a while, he's gonna have a lot of place to shine, a lot of space to shine,
which is needed. Because
exactly.
I mean, they lost Kyrie, and they could go back to how they used to play before. Kyrie kind of ruined the chemistry, which I kind of don't want to say that, but
it's still true.
It's still true. They could go back to how they used to be. Like, they could show the world that, hey, look, this is the team that took the Cavs to 7 games in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah, man. I mean, and even just this year alone, last year he averaged 6 points. Right now he's averaging 14.5 so far. So hopefully he can keep that up. I mean, with Gordon Hayward's injury being out for so long, let's see how his contracts are going to be, his next wave of contracts or his extension is going to play out. Maybe Jaylen Brown will be the number 1 option, over Hayward. Maybe they'll have Hayward be a very reliable 6-man or something, but we'll see. Those are my standouts, but I have one more. I have an honorable mention. Kobe White from the Chicago Bulls.
Okay.
He had a crazy game against the Knicks. Now this week, he's averaging 15.6 points, 2.6 rebounds, and 1.3 assists on 30 minutes played. So that's not the best numbers, but I mean, as a rookie, remember he's a rookie. 15.6 points is good. He's proving that he can score in an NBA game. They're 2-1 the last week, and he dropped 7 3-pointers in the fourth quarter against the Knicks. He had 27 points on 57% field goal percentage and 64% 3-point percentage in that game.
Jeez.
7 3-pointers in 1 quarter. A rookie.
Damn.
Insane. I mean, I remember a time when 8 3-pointers was the record in a game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This kid, it's a testament to show like how the NBA has improved, has changed. You know, their landscape, how their play styles change. But I mean, this rookie went and dropped 7 3-pointers in the fourth quarter. I just wanted to shout him out. You know what I mean? I wanted to put him in an honorable mention. I loved him like before the season started. Just watching him do interviews and even seeing him talk after the game. Luckily, the coach, he used to play in University of North Carolina for UNC, and luckily the coach was in the stands that day, so he was, emotional. He got to talk to him. They were asking him questions. He was saying how much he loves his coach, how grateful he is. How kids should be. If kids are in the recruitment process, they should look at UNC because look at how much they take care of their players. And he seems like such a genuine kid and rookie that I'm really glad that he's doing well in the league.
No, that's a feel good story for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
So load management, Kawhi.
Load management, That's exact. We're watching the game right now. It was on my mind. I want to talk about it. So I don't know. I feel like I want the Clippers to win the title this season. I really do. But with everything going on with like his load management and things like that, my biggest concern about all of this is just the mere fact that, Paul George is injury prone. Kawhi Leonard is obviously injury prone. So, and they said that, like we talked about the other night, they're gonna like not have him play back to backs and things like that. I don't know, like, do you think that can kind of alter the chemistry going into the playoffs?
I think if Kawhi Leonard's not playing back to backs right now, he's in on it. Like, I think it's because he's wants to do that. You know what I mean? I don't feel like the Clippers are being annoyingly overcautious, or at least I don't think Kawhi Leonard thinks the Clippers are being overly cautious, because I think Kawhi Leonard is the one that wants to sit these back-to-back games. I think he's the one that wants to rest. I think it's kind of, they need to get their story straight, because Kawhi Leonard says he's fine, then Doc Rivers says he's fine, and the Clippers organization says that under league rules he's technically is injured. But I don't know. I think that I don't think there's actually anything wrong with him right now, but I do agree that he is injury prone. Mm-hmm. I think right now he's just playing it safe. He wants to do it, and now with Paul George coming back on Thursday, he's gonna be able to do that more. He's gonna have less of a role. He's gonna be able to play less intense. Mm-hmm. But I don't know, man. It's a weird situation, this whole load management thing. It seems like it's gonna be. I feel like this is gonna be one of those things that the Kawhi Leonard on the Clippers with load management is going to be the first big story about a big issue that's going to happen too. I feel like, I don't know, I kind of have a feeling that this load management thing is going to get even bigger in the league eventually. Like, maybe other teams are going to start doing it with other players, and they'll start doing it with their superstar players. And I think a big reason why the NBA is worried about it, or people have problems with it, is because it's Kawhi Leonard. You know what I mean? It's
money. Yeah,
it's money. They're holding down right now arguably the best player in the league. Yeah. And they're not letting him play. He's not playing a back-to-backs. People are paying tickets to see this guy, and then now they're going to sit him out because he's quote unquote injured.
Yeah. Like, I don't know, my thing is, like, not everyone could afford to go to a playoff game. So their one chance to go see Kawhi Leonard, and he's not playing,
Yeah.
Which I think it's kind of like there's like two sides to the spectrum. I like to sympathize with the players and like, damn, like, a championship. But then at the end of the day, I see it from like a business aspect, and I could see why the league is really like anal about it, because that's money. Yeah. But either way, like, people are still gonna buy tickets, but people will get disappointed.
Exactly, and I feel like it's more of I think the reason why people are making a big deal out about it is more because of the fans / money issue for the NBA, rather than a team chemistry, health, load management issue. You know what I mean? I feel like the Clippers are just. I honestly feel like this was part of Kawhi Leonard's agreement with the Clippers. Okay. That, I want to have load management. I want to play these games and go all out, but I don't want to play in every back-to-back, or I want to really keep myself healthy. I feel like that's something that he would say, that he would be inclined to, because he played last year so much and went all the way to the finals, held the team on his literal back, like, he did everything. Yeah. So I think the Clippers are just respecting his wishes. I think that Doc Rivers obviously respects his wishes, and I don't think he's going to have any problem with it, chemistry-wise. I don't think the Clippers are gonna have any problems chemistry wise, but I think it's really just more, people really want to see Kawhi Leonard. You know what I mean? I would love to see, if I was from Los Angeles and I paid tickets for a Clippers game, which I imagine Clippers tickets are for sure extremely expensive.
I mean, it's LA.
Yeah, it's LA, and they're the best team in the league.
Even if they didn't have Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, they would be expensive. But now that they have Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, that's even more expensive. So
yeah, so I understand it, but I don't know, man. I don't know. It's definitely not going to affect the team at all. But their public persona or perspective or how people see them is definitely going to be changed. And I mean, if it really matters to them, like the battle of the cities, which LA team is better? Is the Clippers going to come out and prevail over the Lakers, or are the Lakers going to hold their fort or hold their ground? You don't see the Lakers load managing, Anthony Davis and LeBron James. So maybe, I don't know how Lakers fans or Clippers fans are reacting to that, or if they're using that as a kind of argument or as a kind of just to talk shit. But hey,
yeah,
it's a fact. You know what I mean? Like, they're not doing that with LeBron James and Anthony Davis, but LeBron James also didn't even go to the playoffs last year.
Yeah,
so.
He rested, bro. He had Taco Tuesday every
Took a nappy nap.
He had Taco Tuesday every Tuesday. But that being said, that's episode 6, guys. As always, thanks for listening. Check us out on Spotify, Apple Music, SoundCloud, Google Music. Am I missing one? There's a lot of options.
Our website, theopenshot.com. And yeah, man, if you guys liked our podcast, like and subscribe. Please and thank you. We really appreciate it. Also, share us on social media if you want your friends to listen to us. We'll really appreciate the support. Again, theopenshot.com. Every Thursday morning, NBA Weekly Podcast. Thanks, guys.